Hey, what's up guys, Cox97 here, and no need to give a long introduction, you already know what we're here for. We're beginning the final act of Spartan Super Soldier with episode 11, so let's find out what happens to all of our favorite characters. We open on the Covenant Corvette. Vader enters the auditorium, similar to the opening of episode 6, when another elite was sent to meet with the Grand Archon. Vader greets the Grand Archon by bowing, his deep breathing ever still. The Grand Archon berates him for failing to capture the Cyan soldier from the Skylark. Their double agent had to step in and compromise his position. Now their plan has become more difficult. It's odd seeing this fearsome elite on his knees like a lowly soldier. The Grand Archon reveals the mission to capture the Purple One is still Vader's. However, a new elite has been assigned to ensure he doesn't fail again. In comes Vulture, a Ranger elite equipped with a jetpack and a needle rifle. Vader glares at his new partner. Vulture happens to be returning after interrogating the prisoner, Mike. Mike told them everything, and their hunch was correct. Sonoviet Station houses the core, likely storing the information they need. However, only a Spartan can access this core. With the knowledge of the failsafe that would activate in the case of an overwhelming attack, all 5 elite squads would be connected to a teleporter inside the facility. With a member of Delta Squad as their prisoner, they plot to take control of the teleporter in the empty Delta Squad base. And so the plan is set. The Grand Archon sends Vader away with the warning that if he fails to capture the Purple One, he might as well never return. We turn to the doorway Vulture originally came through, down the hallway to the prison cells. Inside, Mike, bloody and battered, silent. Echoes of his screams as he witnessed the grim fate of his team fill his head. The explosion. Three, 2, 1, go! We're back with Delta Squad, 1 week earlier during their last moments. Mike sprints to the ghosts as Spencer, Robbie, and Nathan cover him. The elite with the fuel rod cannon aims at them and fires. As the green ball flies to them, Nathan calls out, "Robbie, drop it!" The green explosion fills the area. As the smoke clears, blue light shines through from the drop shield. Holy shit, that was close! The elites shoot at the shield, completely confused, but the shots don't seem to be doing any damage. How long does this thing last, Nathan? Only a few seconds, but that's all the time we need. I need you two to help me. He begins charging up his Spartan laser. The elites stop firing and simply stare at the brand new tech. Suddenly, the shield disappears. Robbie and Spencer simultaneously throw grenades on both sides of the squad of elites. They move to dodge them, clumping up in a group in the middle. Just as they do this, Nathan pops from cover and fires his Spartan laser, annihilating the group of elites with a spectacular red blast. They retreat into the base, distracting the enemy with Nathan's new hologram. They wait. A short time later, after things have died down, they sneak out of the base and follow the path down the mountainside to the forest, where Mike was last seen. Along the way, they discuss the futility and chaos of what just happened, how they're leaderless and lost. Assuming Mike survived, they continue following the path he likely would have taken. However, some elites are already on that trail. They back up to come up with a plan, but are taken by surprise by even more. Surrounded, they admit defeat, until a sticky grenade suddenly flies in the air, nailing an elite in the head. A battle ensues, with another elite suddenly being stabbed with a knife from behind. An invisible person, maybe? Another sticky grenade pops from thin air, blowing up more. Soon, all the elites are dead. The invisible person reveals themselves Daniel. He's beat up bad from his fight with Vader, but otherwise, alive. He is Daniel after all. Daniel reveals how he managed to catch himself on the cliffside and slide down the rest of the fall, minimizing his impact. It's likely Mike did the same, explaining their survival. He apologizes for abandoning his team and letting his vengeance get the best of him. All of them forgive him, save for Spencer, who is disappointed his fears came true. Daniel says he won't let it happen again. But what if they run into Vader again? Delta Squad then huddle up and figure out the game plan. Skylark, Sonoviet, it's all coming together. They deduced that the Highlands base was taken so the Covenant would have an operating base close to Sonoviet. The core inside the facility is what they're after. How it connects to the Skylark, they're not sure. But the core would undoubtedly house important information that could give the Covenant an unstoppable advantage. With an army building up nearby, they can storm the station. It would be difficult, especially with the failsafe that would bring all 5 elite squads to defend the station. So how do they expect to win? Nathan figures out that if the Covenant could get inside access to an elite squad base, they could take the teleporter right into Sonoviet Station when this failsafe would be activated. And with them, Delta Squad, likely presumed dead, and Mike possibly captured, they would have access to Delta Base. Staying dead proves more strategic, so they decide to remain in hiding and figure out a way to secretly deactivate their teleporter at Delta Base. This way the Covenant would need a different base. With the plan set, Delta Squad moves forward with their guerrilla tactics ready to unfold. Who knows how long they'll be in hiding. 1 month later, a Covenant outpost is under assault. Grunts and Jackals gunned down. The perpetrators? Alpha Squad, now being led by their lieutenant, Chris. Well, technically, Sergeant Camden is leading, but Chris is calling the shots. He's intense, leadership coming rather naturally. Everyone is happy to follow along, except Corell, who seethes with silent jealousy. Soon, the base is secure. No Mike. Chris bursts with despair.
Where could he be?
Camden brings him aside. It's not a good look to lose your cool in front of the men. But with Mike captured and possibly dead, Chris is struggling to keep it together. They report the outpost as clear and return to base. Officer Richard pays a visit to Alpha Base. He meets with Lieutenant Chris, who confides in him his fear of being the lieutenant. Despite having led before, now that the title is semi-officially his, he's beginning to question himself. Plus, it's not easy being second in command to Camden. You pretty much act as sergeant while doing all the paperwork of both roles. Chris admits he's starting to sympathize with Corell, who made the role look easy. Richard offers his wisdom. A leader doesn't have to know all the answers. For that, he should look to his men. They can all offer different advice, unique to their perspectives. A good leader can take all that he has learned and make the best decision for everyone. Richard also stresses the importance that Chris stay as safe as possible. With Mike gone, he's the last person the Covenant need to find the answers they're looking for. Chris admits he has no clue what info they could assume he has. He truly knows nothing.
If they already got Officer Taylor Reeve, the 3 officers, the scouts, and all the recruits but me, then they'll never know what was on the Skylark, or whatever Valinor knew about it. Did you say 3 officers? Yeah, that's odd, because 2 is a UNSC standard. Oh, well, yeah, I remember 3 officers. There was a black and yellow one, a blue one, and, Ned. Yeah, which, I mean, he's a medical officer, so that's not normal? It depends.
Just then, Jordan arrives. It's time for their daily visit. Richard accompanies Alpha Squad to HQ Hospital, where Alaxx is still in his coma. The diagnostics report Vader's blade went clean through several key organs. Most Spartans would have died by now, and as Sean proudly reminds everyone,
he's the toughest son of a bitch there is.
In fact, Sean is there. Due to him now returning to working at HQ, he visits HQ Hospital as well. Despite not being in Alpha Squad and remaining so because of command, he's always loyal to his former teammates. They all share respective stories of Alaxx's heroics, how he was apparently joyful and full of energy back in the day. Ever since their previous sergeant died, things changed.
I swear this guy could unleash hell if he was given the chance. Once you lose someone close to you, you lose a part of yourself. I can't imagine how I'd feel if I lost my girlfriend. Yeah, I hate losing people. It's always so hard to find them. He means dying, Riley. And Jordan, you're obviously the more likely one to die. You're a Spartan, dude. What's Maddie? A vet? So unless you got a big dog that goes wacko, she's chilling. Or if you ever play hide and seek. Riley, do you ever actually understand what we talk about? Like at all? No.
I swear, every time I write Riley scenes. Officer Richard pulls Ned aside and questions his placement on the Skylark. Ned pulls up documents confirming he was in fact slated for stationing on the recruit transport that day. So he's apparently safe about that.
And you still have no idea how he was abducted?
No, sir. Once I got back, he was gone. No sign of a struggle or anything.
Convenient, now that there's been 2 break-ins at your hospital. You make sure to lock the doors, right?
Of course. Now with triple the security, there's 0 chance of another break-in.
Unless you get a backup teleporter somewhere we don't know about.
Teleporter?
I'm just kidding, Ned.
Oh, gotcha. By the way, I don't know if you have heard, but there seems to be problems with the teleporter at Delta Base. It might have been disabled. Do you mind giving it a check?
Sure thing.
He and the rest of Alpha Squad leave. Ned is alone. He sneaks into his personal cabin and pulls out a radio. He makes a call. Vulture answers.
I sent someone to fix the teleporter, but I can't find out how it was disabled in the first place. Someone behind the scenes might know what's going on.
I don't need to remind you how vital that teleporter was to our plan. If you are working with them...
Sir, I promise you I'm not with them. I will pay you back and make this all worth it, but I can't compromise my position again. They have an officer who's been breathing down my neck for weeks.
If that teleporter is not fixed in time, you will be of no more use to us, human.
What about Chris? The purple Spartan, do you still need him?
He has eluded us.
Use your prisoner. They're close friends. I can doctor something if you send me what I need.
Very well.
He hangs up. We go to the Covenant Corvette where Vulture reports to the Grand Archon Ned's plan. It sounds like a similar plan we've seen before, another call to be placed. At Alpha Base, Sergeant Camden leaves command to Chris while he leaves for another HQ mission. This guy never catches a break with these. Jordan comments how Alpha Squad gets smaller and smaller every day. With Sean at command, Alaxx in the hospital, and now Sergeant Camden off on a mission, an ominous feeling is rising. That night, Carell awakens in the barracks to hear echoes. He strolls outside where he recognizes it. The same echoes from before. They're faint, but more clear. It's a pattern being repeated. But what is it? Letters? Numbers? He notices a light is still on in the main control room. Lieutenant Chris. Curious, Carell pays him a visit. He goes in to find stacks of papers littering Chris's desk.
Still up, sir?
Yeah, took out an outpost today, so lots of reports to fill out. Sergeant duties.
Duties that are always neglected.
Yep. We missed you at the hospital today.
I know. Alaxx doesn't need me watching over him.
Still could have used you.
He wouldn't want me there. I've known him a long time. He and I are the oldest members of Alpha Squad, actually.
Really? How long have you been here?
8 years, sir.
Huh. Well, we appreciate your service to the squad. I do.
I'm sure you do, sir. Is there anything else you need from me, sir, or am I dismissed?
You can get some sleep.
Carell leaves. Chris continues filling out the forms. It's endless. It's a quiet night. The echoes are gone now. Not that Chris ever noticed them. Just then, a call comes in. It's from command. Chris answers.
Alpha Squad, there has been a sighting of the missing Delta Squad member.
A picture comes up on the screen. It's Mike. An audio message plays.
That's all I could give you. There's nothing else, so just kill me already.
Chris doesn't hesitate. He enters the garage and leaves in a warthog, rushing to save his friend. Carell spots him leaving, having overheard the call. With Jordan and Riley asleep, he sneaks out and takes a mongoose to secretly follow his desperate lieutenant. And that is how we end Spartan Super Soldier, episode 11. What did you think? Obviously, it's more of a setup episode. You know, it's part 1 of 5, technically, of the 3rd act of Spartan Super Soldier. So, you know, it's going to be set up. But at the same time, you know, there's a lot of stuff that went down in this episode and a lot of just, like, answers that we really needed. We definitely learned a lot more about the behind the scenes, you know, the whole plot of what the Skylark and the Core, like, clearly, those are connected in some way. The pieces are starting to form together. You know, soon we will find out what the Covenant were after, what was on the Skylark, what's in the Core, whatever. We're going to find out soon. The title, Divided, of course, is reflecting the previous episode, which was Together We Stand, because usually it's Together We Rise or whatever, and then Divided We Fall. So in this episode, it's about Divided, because physically, a lot of the members are all divided. A lot of Alpha Squad is divided. Mike is divided from his squad. Delta Squad is divided from everyone else, so they pretend to be dead. Like, there's a lot of division in the ranks, but also the actual formation of the episode, the scenes are very divided. We start with the Covenant and Mike, and then we go to Delta Squad, and then we go to Alpha Squad, and then we kind of go with Richard for a bit, and then back to Alpha Squad. So I wanted the structure of the episode to kind of reflect the title itself, because that's always fun to give the title as many meanings as possible. Ned still apparently playing it safe. He has not been found out yet, but it seems like Richard might be on his tail. I feel like Richard might be a little bit suspicious of Ned, because who wouldn't? But at the same time, you have a medical officer, you know, it's not easy to just go, oh, arrest him, because you gotta have a reason. So, you know, obviously it's gonna take a bit, but hopefully Richard can find Ned before Ned causes more damage. At the same time, Alaxx is still alive, but he's in a coma still. Hopefully our tough badass Spartan can get back on his feet soon. Chris, being the lieutenant, it's actually interesting because a lot of this leadership stuff has come very naturally to him, but now that he's finally lieutenant, it's a struggle for him for some reason. It's almost like suddenly all those expectations are expected of him versus they were just a surprise ability that he happened to have, you know? And then at the same time, he's just under a lot of stress. There's a lot of shit going on with Mike being captured and all that. Like, it's really rough. I'm hoping you guys can kind of feel sort of like that tension really rising, like things are really gonna start kicking off. And honestly, episode 12 is an episode that I have been very excited to reach. It is a very important episode. The ending of this episode can leave you a good hint as to what episode 12 will be. Particularly, it will be specifically about 2 main characters and their very difficult dynamic, something that is honestly my favorite thing to write in this series, probably. I love writing for these 2 characters, and I'm very excited to show off what happens with them in the next episode. But until then, post your comments, letting me know what your favorite part of this episode was, predictions that you have for future episodes, specifically this next episode. You know, what'll happen with Chris going to that call, if that call was even legit in the first place, what Carell is doing following him, and all of that. If Richard will find Ned, post all your comments, post your theories. I love just interacting with you guys and having all of us just really, you know, band together with all of our theories and just being excited about this story, because honestly, like, that's my favorite thing about TV shows and following my favorite shows, and the reason why I made this whole series in the first place is I love that discussion at the end of every episode where it's like, oh my god, there was a huge cliffhanger, what's gonna happen in the next episode? Well, I think this will happen and this will happen, and all these theories that are slowly being pieced together until by the end, you have all the answers, and we will get the answers finally after so many years. So I'm really happy that I am making these videos and telling the story as best as I can with this storytelling format. I'm trying to give more excitement. I'm really happy to be telling you guys this story. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this journey so far, and I will see you guys in episode 12. That's it for this video. See you guys later. Bye.